Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we are doing day 4 of the leaks for Modern Horizons 3. I will eventually get back to normal stuff and everything like that. But, this stuff is really exciting, at least to me. Maybe it's exciting to you guys as well. Who knows? So before we get into it though, make sure you do subscribe so that way you guys don't miss anything. We've jumped up a huge amount of subscribers. So thank you so much. We're trying to hit 2,000 at the moment. If, even if 1% of the people who watch this subscribe, we're going to be able to hit, an insane amount of subscribers. So thank you so much to everyone who's kind of been following along and everything like that. We cover mostly Commander here, but we can branch out into other things if people are interested as well. So let's get into it. So first of all, we've got the guy over on Twitter has been doing a whole bunch of leaking. There's a whole bunch of other people who are as well, but this guy, Equip0, was saying, he's the one who posted this Necro Dominance, and he said the Kappa Cannoneer was not getting reprinted into Modern. He just had some cards sitting around on his desk, so Sylvan Safekeeper might not be getting reprinted either, but not the Kappa Cannoneer. It seems that there's been a little bit of this with some of the leakers kind of, putting in some cards that are meant to be there to kind of trick people and stuff like that. So we're mostly going to be covering like the new cards, or if it's a reprint, the reprints that actually show like set symbols and stuff, because that's, the part that we can prove, hey, look, this is going to be, here. But the Kappa Cannoneer doesn't look like it's going to get reprinted into Modern, unfortunately. So first of all, we've got Glimpse of the Impossible. So this is exile the top 3 cards of your library. You can play those cards this turn. At the end of your next end step, at the end of the next end step, if any of those cards remain exiled, put them into the graveyard. Put each card, for each card put into the graveyard this way, create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn with sacrifice this creature, add colorless. So this is a nice kind of, impulse draw with a bonus of if you don't play them, they go into the graveyard, which is nice. You don't want them to kind of stay in exile, which some impulse cards do. As well as the fact that it's got, sack this, create the Eldrazi if you happen to do that. We've got these two here, which are special guests. So we've got a few different special guests that were kind of shown. So first up, Grief and Fury. So both of these two, decent kind of reprints. Decent reprints. And then we've got Persist as well, another one. We've got a reprint, or is this a reprint? Meltdown, is that an actual card? Now, I'm probably showing how, no, this is a reprint. So this is a reprint here, Meltdown getting reprinted. And then you can see here, we'll talk about this one a little bit later, but it's one of the modal lands. So the modal lands look like they're going to be confirmed here. You can see, modal, Felder, whatever it is, and then it's Modern Horizons 3 down there. We've got this one here. Apparently, Brainstorm's getting reprinted. I wouldn't, super trust that. I don't know. Ollie's, the Equip0 dude said, nope, it's printed at uncommon. People are saying Brainstorm getting reprinted would be broken. It's an insane card, as opposed to it just being in, one of the precons. If it's in a precon, yep, that's fine. But if it's actually reprinted into Modern, that'll be very interesting. Detectives Phoenix, I believe is a new card as well. Yeah, Detective Phoenix looks like it's going to be a new card as well. Celifid Colosseum, I'm not sure about. An Emerald Medallion reprint there. We've got the Nether Goyf. Now, I want to apologize to you guys because apparently I was completely butchering saying the names for the Goyfs. So I hope that I looked it up and stuff like that. So hopefully, this is better. Nether Goyf. Nether Goyf's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. And then it's got Escape, 2 and a black, and then exile any number of other cards from your graveyard with 4 or more card types among them. So you can bring it back. This is going to be very interesting, like a self-mill deck, which is what the precon is. And this one here is just Modern Horizons 3, so it's in the main set as well. So it looks like the Goyfs are going to be in the main set. Very, very nice. It's going to be very interesting to see, how these kind of go there. I know this isn't like, a tribal or anything like that I've kind of had experience with. So, showing how, new to Magic I am there, but I'm going to be very interested to see how they go all together. We've got the Tarmogoyf Nest here. So this is an enchant land, and then it has pay 1 and a green to create a Tarmogoyf token, which is, you know, it actually has the explainer here as to what that's going to be there, equal to basically what a Tarmogoyf is, but it's a token version of it. Interesting that it also has, it's a, you know, it shows an actual mana cost for it. So tokens with mana costs. Yeah, that's actually interesting. That's a token with a mana cost there. So this is going to be in the precon. So this is M3C, which is the Modern Horizons 3 precons there. So obviously this is going to be in the Jund deck there. So this one here is Polygoyf. So it's got Trample and Myriad, and then its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard, etc., etc. So this one here shares the same set symbol as the Tarmogoyf Nest there, so that's going to be in the precon too. We've got Grist the Tide, the Hunger Tide here getting reprinted as in the Commander deck as well, in the Jund one. We've got a reprint here for Breya Ethereal Shaper, most likely reprinted. Like, it looks like she's getting reprinted in here. I'm still a little bit on the edge about any kind of, you know, reprints that are announced because of the fact that, you know, they've kind of, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit soon as well. Scuturious Sentry here. So this is 3 and a black menace. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, it connives. So there's going to be lots of very interesting decks that can make use of that. We've got Archway of Innovation here. So this enters the battlefield tapped unless you control an island. Add blue, and then the next spell you cast this turn has Improvise. I don't think this one's amazing. I don't know. You got to pay a blue and tap it to give it Improvise, so I don't think it's super amazing, as opposed to, like, you know, stuff that just gives all your stuff Improvise or something like that. But, you know, maybe, you know, you could find use for it. This is in the base set too. We've got Barbarian Ring getting a reprinted there. So this one here is the one that we saw before, the modal black land. Now, it's probably very hard to see, but it just says destroy target creature or planeswalker. So it's like a kill spell on one side, and then on the other side it's a land. So that says land down there. You guys might be able to read it from the screen. I don't know. It's kind of hard to read. It's obviously black as well. And I don't think that's in the... It might be in the precon. No, it doesn't look like it's in the precon, I don't think. That's like, looks like the Modern Horizons 3 symbol there. So this one here, first of all, we've got... so this is Kirillak, I'm pretty sure. And there's a full... like face art version of him. So obviously he's either getting reprinted or a new card. This is Hydroelectric Specimen, which is the blue modal land. So it looks like there's blue modal lands. There's a Spawn Gang Commander. So assumedly that's like Siege Gang Commander, but for Eldrazi. And you can see that it's devoid as well, it looks like. And then a Solar Transformer there. There was a couple other cards in here that I didn't think were that important, but we'll talk about the crop rotation here, because they show the crop rotation. And you could see that a little bit of the symbol down here. That, to me, I don't know if the crop rotation, like, that doesn't look like the Modern Horizons 3 symbol to me. It looks more like the DMU one. However, it could potentially be like the precon symbol. Not really. It doesn't really look like the precon symbol either. So, you know, that might be a list item, or it might be just the Bleaker tricking people or whatever. I'm not entirely sure there. So I've got some reprints here for the precons too. A Reaver Cleaver reprint. We've got Oro Titan of Nature's Wrath there. Sorry, Uro getting reprinted there as well. So again, this one's in the precon. So assumedly that's in the blue-green precon. Like the, yeah, assumedly that would be in the Simic precon there. Archon of Cruelty here. I'm not sure which precon that would be in. Is there only one black precon? Yeah, it's not an Eldrazi, therefore it has to be in the Jund one, right? Yeah, and then Reaver Cleaver there, as I said. This one here is a Black Farewell, which is very interesting. There's a Black Farewell. Choose one or more. Destroy all creatures, destroy all planeswalkers, destroy all battles, exile all graveyards, or each opponent loses all counters. So Farewell does Exile, obviously, instead. And it does enchantments instead of that, instead of battles. So interesting that it's got battles there because, you know, battles aren't super useful. But it does also have the option here of each opponent loses all counters. So, you know, anti-exile count, exile count, anti-experience counters, I guess, poison counters, if you wanted to. You know, there's lots of really interesting ways you can potentially use this. It is also a sorcery, similar to Farewell 2. All right, we've got full art for Ulalek. So that's the face commander for the Eldrazi precon. And then we've got some other ones that were described just in text. So we've got the Flare of Duplication for red, which is you can sacrifice a non-token red creature to it without paying its mana cost, and then you get to copy an instant or sorcery. We've got Flare of Malice, which is the black one, which is same, sack a non-token black creature, and that makes someone sacrifice a creature or planeswalker with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. That's very interesting as well, because it gets around ward, right? Because you don't need to pay ward if you're sacrificing something. So if they're commander, there's actually lots of interesting ways you could potentially make use of that. Yeah, to bypass ward, bypass hexproof. Yeah, we've got all Azlask, the Swelling Surge. So this is the secondary commander for the Eldrazi precon. When it or another colorless creature you control dies, you get an experience counter, and then you can pay all colors. Creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of experience counters you control. And then Scions and Spawns you control gain Indestructible and Annihilator 1 until end of turn. We've got Barrow here, so that's 2 and a black, Death Touch and Lifelink. Its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and toughness is equal to that number +1. And then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards. If you do, you may put a creature card from them into your hand. That's really cool. You know, the Jund deck is looking at self-mill and kind of putting stuff all in the graveyard, and then apparently just using GOYFS to kind of roll people over and stuff. We've got Ulamog, the Defiler. I believe he's in the, I don't know if he's in the precon or not, but he costs 10. Legendary creature, Eldrazi. When you cast this spell, target opponent exiles half their library, rounded up. Interestingly, it says when you cast this spell. It's got ward, sacrifice 2 permanents. Ulamog, the Defiler, enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 on it, equal to the greatest mana value among cards in exile. That's really cool because it's like, you know, anti-exile hate and stuff like that. There's like, you know, Foretell and stuff like that. You know, the plot and stuff. So those would count anything that's in exile. Not necessarily, you know, the stuff that was exiled up here, just anything that's in exile. It also has Annihilator X, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it, which is a huge destroyer. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.